Find the record.
I mean, guys, there's so much energy out there today. I know we can talk to you, but oh my gosh, it's like bananas. Everybody that has been all over Facebook or reaching out to us, like crazy, crazy, contagious energy. So just got to put that out there. We are so pumped about tonight's presentation.
Yeah, like without a doubt. I mean, there's a lot of work that went into just organizing this tonight, and I I, I hate saying this because every time we come back from a major event, I always say that it was the best major event ever. But I have to say, I think this was without a doubt, like it's never been truer to say that was probably the best regional lineup of speakers and event that I've ever seen in 13 years. And Heidi, you went last year, right?
Yeah, I told Mike today, I thought this year's was so much better than last year's, but last year's wasn't bad by any means, but it just, I don't know. It just keeps getting better and better.
Yeah, I honestly, when I looked at the speaker lineup and just how it was, I mean, it was just, where else do you get like, oh, let's take the top producers that are independent owners and just gather them all in one area and they're going to share all their secrets. And that's really what you got. And there was so many highlights of it, but are we ready to kick this off?
I'm ready if you're ready.
Oh, yeah, I think I'm ready. Hold on one second. I just want to make sure this is recording. And if it is, we should be good to go. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we should be recording and all is good. So Heidi, let's just kick this off. Good to see everyone down here in the video feed here too. So we're kind of learning Zoom for the first time. And as every time we do it, we tend to learn something new that I can do. So, Heidi, you want to just kick it off?
Oh my gosh, let's do this. So Northeast Regional Convention lessons. There were so many things, so many things that, we wanted to share, and we started posting on Facebook to get the energy up and for people to give their perspectives. And really what that does is it reinforces the importance of getting to events, because it's so hard for us that attended to even put into words what exactly happens at these events. Because we can repeat and we can describe and we can even play a video of it, right? But it still doesn't give you the same exact experience as when you're sitting in the audience, listening to the information, the skills, the resources, the knowledge, the attitude, and then looking at your partners and processing it and just networking with everybody. I mean, I met people that I have, never had a chance to meet. I know our team got to do that. And it just, all of a sudden and listen, it's like celebrity sightings, right? Like you see Elizabeth Weber walk by you and I'm almost like losing my breath, right? Like I have a small sweat coming over me because I'm so just, taken aback by her presence, right? And so we all had moments like that. And
you had the same moment when the MC passed by you too, I'm sure.
I did actually I did. I didn't want to say that on the recording because I know the MC's wife too. So, but really, you got to get to an event, and we've got a great event. The next best all-star lineup. If you weren't at regional, then at least get to local seminar December 9th. It's in Cromwell. It's not a far drive. It's all day. Again, you are going to come away with more knowledge, more trainings. I met with a new partner today, Lauren. She's been listening to audios and doing all these videos. She's 1 week in, and Brandy turned and looked at her and was like, if you get to an event, it's like all those hours of videos, you get all that knowledge in like a day. It's just, you just absorb it almost by being next to the people that have all the knowledge. It's crazy how it happens.
Yeah, there's so many things that happen at these events. And I think our team, a strength of our team is we have the resources, what to do, how to do it, the numbers. I mean, we really have a lot of that content. One is you got to absorb it and be able to implement it. But there's so much more that happens and that you need to know and experience. And a lot of it is really that you were there experiencing these events. And I can't tell you that. I mean, we learned from what? Kay Gerard, we learned from Lisa Grant, Jim Winkler, Gary Rogers, Elizabeth Weber, and like dozens more of the top builders, Phil Guido. And so there's no way for us to gather all of these people and train on a daily, weekly basis, but it's what you need to do to build the business. And for me, 13 years attending this, I just have like pages of notes that I want to process and go back to and implement personally. And again, this is 13 years at the game. There's only one way we know how to build this business. We do all of these things as a team to all then go to our next major event, wherever you happen to be, the next local, the next regional, the next convention. Because without that, it's just very difficult to build something like this, because there's too much that happens and like life-changing moments that happen at events like these.
And, the people that attended this past weekend, some of the follow-ups I did today with team members, I said, so you got to get to Miami. And every single person I talked to said, absolutely, I'm already getting my ticket to Miami. I'm going. It's no question in my mind. And so that's what it does. You go to one and you just can't not go to the next.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Want me to keep going?
Man, these are your top 5, man. Like,
Listen, we need to build in the homes. It really, there's something magical that happens when we're in homes. There's like an intimacy that happens, and people get all crazy when I use that word. But really, I mean, when Gary Rogers was up on that stage talking about how he started his business by building in the home, and then he was in my home a week ago doing the same exact thing 23 years later, and it works. We had 5 or 6 prospects here the night that he came to show the plan, and we've already launched one. We did a follow-up with one today, and she had a prospect on the phone with her, okay? We have 3 more that are coming to our UBP tomorrow night that we've already talked to. So this is what happens. When you build in the home, we can have that personal communication. We can answer questions. We can make them feel a part of the team. So it's almost like they've already joined. We're just trying to get them all the other information that they don't have yet as a part of the follow-up, so that they feel really secure in their decision that they are going to come on board. We can't achieve that on a webinar. And webinars are great. They serve their purpose, when we have to use them. But building in the homes, I mean, it's just wonderful. And we get to leverage all of the knowledge, all of the expertise. So if there's, someone that comes to Allison's home and wants to know more about TLS, then we pull Nina in and we say, Nina, get up and talk about TLS for a few minutes. We've got an audience for that, and Nina can do that. So that's the power of building in the homes.
Right. And Gary said if you saw his presentation, it was just so classic and just reiterated the simplicity of it. He goes, there's one thing I know that has worked for every month and every day and every minute of my business career that has led to now close to $4 million, is that I just show up in a home and I do an event. And if we show the plan, we get to meet the people, they get to meet us. There's something that magical happens. Multiple things happen in a home. And it's really what we should say is just like getting people together so that we can just, meet each other, present the information, Q&A. That just, it's sort of like how you build any team, how you do anything. It's like imagine having job interviews and you never see the person, but they're going to show up to your job next week. It's really difficult to do that. So if you happen to be local, number one is you have to build in homes, right? Get someone with the credibility to be there to build together. And if you happen to be at a distance, Heidi and I talked about this, and we've done this multiple times with huge success. Why not get people at your house, have products ready, be there, do an intro, and then have one of us do the webinar while it's on your TV. There's so many things we can do with technology, but you can't take out the intimacy. And yes, we can use that word, person-to-person contact. That needs to happen when you're trying to establish trust is such a critical component. And I would say webinar should be your last resort if you can't get someone to your home. But it's just so important because I mentioned this to Heidi. I said, out of all the home presentations last year I did, there's only been one that didn't lead to a new partner.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't mean that it won't. It just means it hasn't happened yet. But one out of, I can't even tell you how many, probably 70, I would assume probably, this year alone, that we just did it and it led to a partner. Did another one, led to a partner. You just got to do them.
So trial size marketing, I'm so glad that Phil included this in the agenda for regional, because we were lucky enough to see some of this presentation at the September local, and we've had people on our team now doing this for over 30 days, and so we already have the results. We can demonstrate that this is working, and we've got now people on our team that are resources and can work with other new partners now that want to try this out. The idea that these $1 million earners, are as successful as they are, and that $1 million does not include all of the retail commissions that they are earning. And when you looked at Phil Guido's retail commission base, he's earning over $100,000 a year from selling daily essentials. I mean, that is ridiculous in and of itself. So if you weren't a part of regional and you want more information on the trial size marketing, lucky enough, we have a whole YouTube video already dedicated to that. And I suggest that you search it under YouTube. It's going to come up. If you put in Ryan's name or my name in there, it's going to come up as one of the first few videos, and watch it. And order your box of daily essential packets. And we're going to go through, there's other products that come in a trial size that can even make this more successful for you. But at a minimum, you want to make sure you have those packets on hand and that you're bringing them with you wherever you go. You don't want to go anywhere without having at least 3 packets in your pocket. And ladies, in these enormous handbags we have to cart all over the place, you better have more than 3, because as you run into people, we've got a program to put into place where we're going to show you how to get them into people's hands. I loved it today when Brandy said, put the packets in their hands to Lauren. It's just, that human touch, that connection already is building that relationship with a new potential customer. And what do we know about our customer base? 30% of our customers come in as owners, okay? And that's a very conservative projection as well. So once you get that base 10 of customers, you've really established a very profitable retail base there, just from 10 simple customers. That's it.
Yeah, Gary used to teach this, my first year. He said, Ryan, you got to find something that comes in trial sizes, find something that you love, research about the product, and look to see how many hands you can get the product in, and give them the information so that it educates them about the product, and just do a follow-up. And I remember he did that forever. Arlene Lowy, she used to move a case of OPC3 a day when she was heavily looking to build a customer base, and it was all on basically trial size or informational marketing. Get information in the hands of people that may benefit, and then get them the information they need so they understand what the product can do to benefit them. And that was, I mean, it's just like, it's so easy. You got to stop getting in the way of how simple it is. It's literally just the process of, I get this in the hands of enough people, I'll get my base 10 customer base that could lead to prospects, customers, BV, ongoing. And what we really do is providing a better product to the end consumer, so they have an incredible result that they would never want to leave, or not reorder again. I mean, that's I've been taking OPC3 now for 13 years. I would never live a day without 2 shots of OPC3 a day, because I know what it does. I know how we feel. And if you've ever gone on vacation over the last whatever amount of time since you've joined the business and ever forgot your isotonics, oh my God, you totally feel the difference. So there are products that are life-changing. The other thing I'll mention is at the event, there was a couple presentations where people did before and afters. Remember this, Heidi, where someone said, here was 8 years ago when I started, and they showed their driver's license, and here's 8 years later. And there was a couple people that showed this. Julie was one. And it was remarkable to see. I mean, it literally looked like they like got 10 years younger over the course of being in the business for 10 years, you know? So these products are something great, but you have to get them in the hands of people. And if you do that, not only does it help them, and then that helps the volume flow of your business. You should be averaging 500 to 1,000 BV without question. And the answer is, this is how you do this. If you're not there yet, trial size marketing is it.
Well, let me just say one more thing, Ryan. You know, I actually think that corporate does us a favor when we choose that Fast Start entry kit. They give us a box of those packets, right? So for new people that are on this call tonight, you've got a box sitting there, and we're going to show you how to put that into play here and make you money and earn you BV. So number 4, goals, accountability, the what and the why. So listen, this is the foundation of how fast or how slow you're going to grow in this business. So everyone needs to be working towards a specific goal. It could be an income goal, it could be a pin level, but whatever it is, you need a specific goal and you need a deadline attached to it. I'm going to share with you personally what I am doing right now. I always have a date attached to my goal. And I'll tell you that my first deadline for professional coordinator was September 29th. I did not hit it, obviously, because you guys would know about it. But what I did do is get 11 new launches in the month of September because I was so focused on the goal of September 29th. Then I moved to the next goal for October. And again, didn't hit it, but 11 more team partners in the month of October. Now, my goal is I'm on week 3 right now, and we already have 4 new partners in November, and we are duplicating, and I know I may even hit it a week early. That's how ridiculous this is, okay? But that's what happens when you focus in on a goal and you get to work, and these are the daily things that I'm doing. Guys, you think that I spend all day building this business. You think Ryan is spending all day just, talking to people. Listen, it's this easy. Okay, we all have the same 24 hours in a day. I've got crazy kids, okay, running around constantly saying my name. I have to get up before they are awake, and I have to dedicate time to my business before I become distracted by the rest of the events of my day. So in the first half hour, okay, as I drink my isotonics, I sit down, I have the same routine. I open up my computer, I go to YouTube, I get a video up, depending on how motivated I am that day. If my motivation is low and I don't feel like doing it, then Weber's all over my YouTube and she kicks my rear end, okay? And I listen to the audio, I have it playing in the background while I open up my Facebook account and I blast out conversation starters. And I do this in front of my team. Sometimes people join me in the morning and we do it together. I blast out conversation starters, and oftentimes I am copying and pasting the same opener with multiple people. And then what I do is I spend about 5 to 10 minutes not scrolling Facebook, but commenting, liking, commenting, looking up certain people that I haven't talked to or heard from in a long time, liking and commenting on a few of their posts. Then the next thing I do is I write down everybody's name that I've just reached out to. You're going to find some people respond to you at, live. So you are commenting back or talking back to them. And it's just a conversation. Open-ended questions. How was your weekend? What do you have planned for your Thanksgiving holiday? What types of stores? What are you buying for your kids this year? What's on their holiday list? What, blah, 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 right? It's just open-ended questions. You're getting information from people and you're finding a natural way to insert the business. The next thing that I do, and I'm still within a 30-minute window here, okay, because I just blast these things out. Ask my team members. I go through my entire organization and I look at who I need to follow up with, and I blast out messages to them. And I don't expect them to necessarily respond to me right away, but they know they are placeholders of things that we either need to connect on or that I'm asking about to jog their memory. Hey, remember we talked about this, wanted to follow up on that, right? Because again, I am trying to demonstrate, to lead, and to mentor, to show them how I build my business. So this is what they are then doing with their sponsor, the people they've sponsored, their partners, right? And we continue to duplicate this down. I keep a day planner. So when I write down the names of the people that I talk to every day, I have a daily planner. It starts at 7 a.m. and goes to 9 p.m. every single day. My appointments are written in, but in the blank spaces in between, I write down the people's names that I've talked to. If I showed a video, I make a little star next to their name. If I booked an appointment, then I've got them in my book. Again, if I show a plan, I highlight their name in my book. So what that does now is, believe it or not, I have people's names written down, going back to, I could start in August right now. All those people that I said, you know what, I'll circle back with you in a few months. Well, it's been a few months. So now I'm going back and I'm scanning those lists of names. So I don't have to generate a new list somewhere. It's already in my day planner. All those names are recorded. So I just go back and I say, oh, what about, Jess? I haven't talked to her. Oh, look there's Dan, there's Jody, there's Sabrina, there's Mary, there's Connie, there's Yvette, right? These are all people from August. So they are now all my list of people to follow up with in November. I also keep my accountability sheet for the week in my planner, and I fill it out daily. This really shows me where I'm at. And this is about 30 minutes worth of work. Okay. What I just told you is about 30 minutes.
So let's summarize that for everyone on the call, because this is when people go, oh my God, that's one of the biggest things we have. People go, there's too much, but really there's not. There's too much if you decide to go investigate the million ways you can build this and the million products and services and technology. And right, there's a lot. What we have done as a team is taken what JR has put together, merged it with 2017 techniques and what we have at our fingertips now, technology, and we put together what's called a 30-day fast track. All it is an accountability sheet, so you don't have to question, what do I do today to build the business? Where do I find the people? How do I sell a product? All of that is done in activities that lead to, that's how you find the person to show the business to. That's how you follow up. That's how you sell a product. It's actually the activity that leads to the result. You don't have to worry about how to get the result or, oh my God, what do I do? Do I got to write? It's all done for you. So the entire what do I do and how do I do what Heidi just said she does at whatever time in the morning is all done for you in the accountability. You don't have to do it all at the same time. All we ask is you give this business 4 weeks to do it the right way and check off the accountability. And there's nothing hard on there. It's like, hey, did you read your goal statement? Hey, can you touch base with 3 people you've been out of touch with every day on Facebook? It's not hard things. These are simple 30 minutes, like Heidi said, in the morning before you start your day, before you have to go to work, before you have to see your kids. 30 minutes. You could do it whenever you want, but you could do it during your lunch break. It's possible to yield you a 6-figure income if you're willing to take that 30 minutes to do it. So first thing is you have to have a target. Heidi just said she has dates, and it's not about landing perfectly on the date. You might hit it early. You might hit it right on. You might hit it a month or 2 later. Who cares? But you have to have a target. Where are you trying to go? If you're not earning commissions, your first goal should be, let's say you want to get activated. It should be 4 weeks from now. I'm activated. It's December 15th, 2017. I'm happy because I'm now earning residual income, and I found 2 incredible people that I'm going to begin to duplicate and help them achieve their dreams. Read that, write it out, read it twice a day. That's your goals. Maybe you're there and you want to hit a new goal. I want to hit $1,500 a month. I hit that by November 3rd, 2018, and I've helped 3 people on my left and right earn $1,500 and become executive coordinators. Feels great. I'm on my way. And that's what I mean. You have to have a date, read it out, write it out, read it every day. And the accountability sheets you have to have because it keeps you in track. And the last part, why don't you wrap up with this, is the what and why. Heidi.
Yeah. So, what do you mean by sorry, jog
So
my
what do you
memory.
do? Have an answer to what do you do and why do you do
Oh,
what you do?
right. So we should all have answers to what is it that you do? Because as you're engaging in these conversations, right, eventually somebody's going to say, what do you do? And there's a million different responses out there, guys, but you have to find one that works for you. So you can say, I'm a full-time teacher and my husband and I have this online retailing business that includes a shopping annuity.
Perfect. You guys hear that? That's what you do. You have to include the business.
You
If you
have
just
to
go,
include it.
oh, I'm just, I'm still teaching. And that's it. Like you've lost every opportunity, or the person who's like waiting for something to land on their lap and you are talking to them. They say, how you been? What you been up to? Oh, I'm still teaching. Oh, that's nice. I'm still here and I hate it. Good. Or whatever. You lose the opportunity. So can everyone you have to write out what you do, just include the business. I own a shop.com business. Okay. And then if I say, well, Heidi, okay, you're still doing that, but what is the shop.com business? What is that? Listen to her answer to what is it?
So basically, I found a way to be able to convert all of the money that I'm currently spending on my household, all the things that you buy, groceries, personal care items, things for the holidays. I can now convert that into earnings.
Dude, awesome. All right, turn it on me, Heidi. So we're meeting.
Okay.
Hey, what you been, just
What have you
conversation.
been up
Hey,
to?
Heidi.
Hey, Ryan, what have you been up to?
Oh man, we are so busy. Things are going so great. We're expanding our shop.com business.
What's shop.com?
Well, you're familiar with franchising, right?
Yep.
So what we've done is just advanced franchising, and we're like a digital franchise where we do really three things. We teach people how to get paid to shop. We get paid to shop on every dollar we ever spend, and we expand and teach other people how to make a lot of money online. So how you been? See, like real, just whatever it has to be, but you have to write it out and read it so that when that comes up, you can say it normal. You can
But
say it your own way, right? Does that make sense?
And you know what, Ryan? You know what else is really key that you just said is after you explained to me what shop.com is, you then asked another question. And it's really important, guys, that if somebody asks you what the business is, that you explain it and then ask another question. It doesn't have to be related to the business either. So, how's your son Mike? Or, and by the way, I ran into your wife at the grocery store. How's that go? Whatever, just ask a question because that keeps the conversation going.
Yeah. And the last part is why. Everyone has to write. These are the things you have to write out. Do you have a target goal? Write it out as if it happened. Read it. Do you have the accountability sheet so you know what to do when you're going to do that every day? Your answer too, so you can have a conversation, is just to be able to practice that. And then why? Why are you building this? If you don't have a why, here's what ends up happening. Oh, I'm super busy. Oh, I talked to that person and it didn't work out. I don't know if I have time to build this. Oh, you basically find an out if you don't have a reason why written out. And I remember, I've talked to this. My reason was my kids, but then the motivating factor is I was so sick of someone controlling my time every single day, and that became my why. I said, I refuse to live my life in terms where I basically sold my time away from my family to be able to pay debt. I got so mad at that. Like it was a rebellion goal of I will financially control my day from this day forward. And that became my mission. I'm not going to be living a life on my next sale. I'm not going to say I got to find my next client because that's trading time for money. I'm going to wake up every day and saying, today's taken care of. What I do today is my choice because I created that lifestyle for myself. And it may evolve over time, but that is what's going to drive you to do it today, not tomorrow, not a year from now, not to excuse your way out of it. Because guess what? We all have different things. Our husband, wife, and responsibilities, our family, our debt, our kids, sickness, personal issues, life. Everything has attacked everyone. And if you sit into a lot of these events and listen to the stories of what people go through and they still do this, that's what puts me in check. Heidi, we talked about this. I say, I can never complain about anything because I've heard too many stories of people with literally their life on the line who still said the reason I'm out here during chemo treatments and I'm
Yeah.
talking about that severe. And they're doing this because it's a legacy from my family. I want to make sure they're taken care of, or because, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many things that people have overcome. Who am I to say because what a friend of mine decided to not have interest that I'm now sad and I can't, continue? No way. It has to be important. So the reason why is that the thing that's going to cause you to wake up early, stay up late, to not let a day slip by where you don't put in some time to turn this business into what you ultimately want it to do. Okay.
And your why can help you connect with so many people as well. And Bonnie Philo gives great examples of this. But, just imagine another mother talking with me and complaining about how she never gets to spend time with her kids. And I can simply respond to that by saying, I know exactly how you're feeling. In fact, I was starting to feel so disconnected from my kids that I started a new business, and now that's actually given me more time with my children.
Yeah, exactly. It's so important. By the way, that little slide, number 4, it's 4 things that I've struggled with over the years to make sure people find important enough to just write it out. Because without these, how are you going to inspire people? How are you going to lead people? How are you going to help people? It's sort of like, just like, quite honestly, the foundation of all the techniques, technology, and everything we are. These are what are going to keep you grounded and allow you to build an incredible business that changes not only your life, but thousands of other people. And without this, it's very hard to even get started, right? So it's so important to do. Number 5.
So number 5, be the person you want to recruit. I mean, this is really just a self check-in here. We're coming off of an event where we were really faced with really, big information about what we should be doing to build our business, but it's not anything that's huge in terms of, I don't know, I don't want to make it bigger than it is. It's really simple things, but it's just, how committed are you to your business? And you have to look yourself in the mirror and say, would you want to recruit, one of you on your left and one of you on your right? Or would you be frustrated, having one of you on your left? Would that feel like dead weight, and get real about that. And I'll tell you, even Elizabeth Weber, when I had the chance to talk with her on Saturday night, and she was asking me about what I'm trying to do and how quickly I'm trying to do it. And so she looked at me and she said, do you talk to 20 people a day? And I said, some days. She goes, no, every day. And I said, well, I try, but I'm doing a lot of things. And you guys know I have my heart in this business. But Elizabeth looked at me and she said, no, trying is lying. And so we all have to check ourselves. So I'm not taking myself out of this presentation at all. Like, that was a moment for me where I'm like, okay, I got it. 20 people a day. Like, if I want to get there, 20 people a day. Now, I'm not saying you all have to do 20 people a day. I'm just saying the lesson was I got to check myself. So the accountability sheets, I think it goes back to, the accountability and the attitude. We all hit, moments where somebody may say no to us or the day doesn't go as planned, but there's always a solution to every problem out there. And if you're in a place where you're not the person that you want to recruit, then you should be reaching out to a leader, to a mentor, to your upline, saying, how do I get myself there? What am I going to do? And it's up to you to then implement that action plan, because every leader in our business will be willing to give you the tools and point you in the right direction, but you have to be willing to activate that.
Yeah, it's so important. So that's a little what Elizabeth said on stage, quite literally. And by the way, a lot of people, and we've talked about this a lot. She goes, would you be happy if you recruited you on your left and you on your right based on what you do right now? Or would you be frustrated with those people? So often we love to, it's an employee mindset. We love to offload problems to other people. The problem is you're the boss. So if you offload problems with the company that you own, guess whose problem it is? It's a reflection of our leadership, our ownership of the business. And so you have to really take a check. And I remember that being said years back. And I used to say, well, no, but here's the problem. I really want it. I really like it. I feel like I'm out there doing stuff, but I'm not getting the result. It's sort of like, I do want to be me and recruit me, you know what I mean? But I wasn't getting the result. At the end of the day, you have two choices. You could be the person who is looking for the solution to every problem and you seek the solution until you find it, or you can be the person who looks to find the problem in every solution. There's really two types of directions you can go, because I promise you this, every problem you're experiencing, I'm going to experience, Heidi's going to experience, you're going through right now, has been solved 1,000 times over by people who've already experienced those and found a way around them. In this team, I can tell you hundreds of examples of people figuring out a problem to the solution. My first year, for those who don't know, I recruited 2 people in 12 months. It killed me. I was emotionally tapped. I couldn't see myself continuing on at that pace, and I felt like it took a lot of work. Those 2 people quit 3 months later. I was literally devastated. However, reflecting back, last year I recruited over 24 people. This year, same deal. Like, the pace hasn't slowed down. So what's the difference? It was just learning how to change some things. It was a lot having to do with me. It was a lot having to figure out new ways to go find people that fit my style. So the whole thing is there's a solution to every problem, but you have to be the one looking for it. And I guarantee whatever issue you're having, we have a way around it. And once you figure that out, that's when you really, really excel in this business, because you have the confidence to go, I know how to teach anyone, right? And that takes you to leadership. So those are really some big tips or takeaways that we wanted to make sure everyone got. But now it comes down to, okay, that's really great. These are all wonderful things. Now let's bundle this all up into, here's what you do. This is exactly how you build this company and what we want you to focus on between now and January 1st of 2018. Not only will this end your year incredibly strong, it will catapult you to have explosive growth in the beginning of January 2018. That's what you want. If you wait till then, it's too late. You missed all the people, the New Year's resolutions, people thinking about their lives, what they're going to do, how they're going to do it. You missed that. It happens now. And so that's what we wanted to put together for you. So we talked about this. And Heidi, you want to kind of just kick this off?
Sure. So we wanted to jazz up the accountability a little bit and make it really simplify this for you over the next 30 days. Because we know there's a lot going on, but the business still has to be a constant, okay? And so all it's going to be is hashtag stack. This is where we want you to focus. We're giving you 5 areas to focus in to really maximize your the next 30 days. And so,
and by the way, I love this. Heidi came up with this, so I can't even take credit for it, but I do love the name personally.
Yeah. And I kind of think that I should be able to throw stack on my last name as well. This isn't fair,
Yeah, totally. But here's a cool thing. When we say hashtag, it means when you get overwhelmed, we want you to come back to this.
Yeah.
Because it keeps this grounded. One of the thing that can overwhelm people is we have everything for everyone and so much and limitless possibilities, which is the best place to be as a business owner. There's no limit. But the other side of it is you can use that as an excuse that there's too much to learn and you wander off and you spend, 18 months trying to get someone to shop at jet.com for, 2% IBV type of deal. It's not going to make your business explode. We want to keep this really simple and keep you grounded. And we want you to use this. It's not going to promote me by any means. Trust me.
No.
You know what I mean? Hashtag stack will cause someone. If you said business is booming and everything's going great, I'm so grateful, just following hashtag stack. You know what I mean? It's going to put it in a category where someone might go, what the hell is hashtag stack? Or, you know what I mean? It's just going to create some visibility for you, questions for you. What's that for you? And it's also going to keep you reminded about these really, simple principles that we're going to follow. So, and we're going to break this down. Each letter represents something. Okay. So the first one is simple. You have to remember this business is so simple at the core. If you stripped away all the great stuff we have and just said, what really matters? How did people make $1 million when we had just the NPCP and one product? You got to remember that moment. There was people who made $1 million when we had 1 to 3 products in the MPCP. You know what they did? They focused on the revolutionary idea that we can collaborate and earn 100% on everything. and we have a couple products to be able to do that with. That's all they had to worry about. And so that's what they did. So if that's how they could make $1 million, imagine what we can do today. But you got to remember, keep the main thing the main thing. We show the business, we use and promote products, and we attend training. You cannot get away from that's $1 million a year if you want it to be, or $100,000 a year, but it's that simple. Don't overcomplicate it. Are you doing those things? You got to follow the steps. This is one, if someone said, did you do this? Did you write out your goals? It's binary. Yes, I did. No, I didn't. If you want this to work and it's no, I didn't, you just say, I have to do this, check it off, and now, yes, you did it. If you didn't have accountability, I haven't had that. Binary. Did you do it? Yes or no? I didn't. Now I can fix it. Yes, I'm doing the accountability. Check. All of these things are the answer to how you need to go from it's not working to it's exploding in a positive way. And it's usually just one little thing. It could be the difference of I never read a goal statement twice a day to I decided to read a goal statement twice a day. And that was the thing that changed my business. You'll be on stage telling that story. That's literally stories of just one little thing. Basic 5, right? There's 5 things we do, and it's all in the accountability sheets. We want to keep this so simple. So you don't have to think you don't even have to know the basic 5. If you did the accountability, you did the basic 5 times 10. It's done. Check it off. You're keeping the main thing. Okay. And realize this, if any step of the way you go, I've been trying and I'm not getting the results, do you know there's an army of people that would sit with you and find the solution to your problem? And I will say, here's the cool thing. It's a little tough to hear, but it's also good news. Most of the problems we all have, 100% of the time, usually happen to be personal. We're approaching it the wrong way. We're saying the wrong thing. We're going after the same 5 people over and over again. It's usually something we are doing. It's not the business. It's how we're doing or interpreting what we should do in the business. So the good news is it's fixable if you're willing to fix it. So we're going to help you keep it simple. Okay.
Okay. The T is for trial marketing. Okay. So again, we all have to place an order tonight, pre-order the trim tee, put in an order for the box of the daily essential packets, or, the women's health. If you really want to get big into trial size marketing, you want to order a couple different products, and the retail marketing video is going to show you how having a few different products on hand allows you to really take the trial size marketing to the next level. But this is going to give you your base 10 of customers, okay? And you want to really focus on getting the product in hand. So think about what you have to do in any given day, right? So I'm just looking at my calendar. Tomorrow I have to go to a doctor's appointment. I actually, last week when I was at a doctor's appointment, gave 3 packets of the daily essentials to a pharmaceutical rep that was in the waiting room of the doctor's office I was in, and had a conversation with her, got her phone number, sent her the 14-minute video. Again, it's the more people we connect with, the more likely you're going to get to that person who is intrigued, does want, to order the daily essentials or whatever trial size packet you gave them. And this is how you do it. I'm also going to be doing somebody's makeup tomorrow. As a thank you for letting me practice on their face, I'm also going to give them 3 packets of the vitamins. Do you get how I'm incorporating this into my day? And it's not going to feel like, I'm standing outside of Stop and Shop offering, daily essential packets as if I'm selling Girl Scout cookies. It's really just using the relationships throughout your day to put the product in people's hands. And by doing this, you are building your shopping annuity. So Ryan said all of us should be able to push 500 to 1,000 BV through our banks every month. We can easily do this. And once you get a customer on Daily Essentials, just think about all of the other different products you can then expose them to that they have no idea about because they think we just sell vitamins. But there's so much more, and it really is a numbers game. And I think when Phil presents this and says, if you get 3 packets into 10 people's hands, that over the course of a month, doing that to over 30, sorry, I am rambling. If you get 3 packets into 30 people's hands throughout the month, you will get 9 customers. I think those averages are very low, very conservative. I think you're going to find that you get way more customers. But even if you just had 9, how amazing is that to have that residual BV going through your banks and all of your partners' banks? It's a game changer when that happens.
It so is. And this, again, I want to highlight Gary Rogers. It's everything to me is like full circle when I hear stuff. Phil Guido has kind of a new spin on a new way to do this, but I remember Gary telling me back in the day, and I used to say, like, I was struggling to get retail, I'm too young, people, whatever, with products. I was coming up with every reason why I couldn't create a base 10 customer base other than look for the solution. So I was that guy, just so everyone knows. And I remember him saying, he goes, Ryan, you know what I did? I printed out a brochure. I think it was for OPC. They basically made trial size packets before we had them. And he goes, my job was to just get this in the hands of 90 people. I know if I could get it in the hands of 90 people to try it. And I'm not saying, hey, you give it to someone and they're like, I don't want to try it. And you're like, well, just take it anyways, try it. I'm not saying that. You have to get someone who agrees to take it, who agrees to do the follow-up, how you presented it, and you have a follow-up, hey, let's make sure you take it. And I want to ask you a few questions, and they have some information to learn what it does. Like, do it the right way. Don't just like literally out of your car, like throw like daily essentials packets at random people and think that that's going to count. You know what I mean? Like, do it right. But he goes, out of those 90, got me 40 some odd repeat orders where they liked it and wanted to buy it. Out of those, I probably got 30 some odd who bought it again. And out of those, I got 15, repeat customers that at least, 80 to 90% of them are still with me today. When you think about 15 years of marketing and building a company, that little activity of I just got to get in the right hands of the right people who want to try it and do a follow-up to make sure I get some feedback, who led to customers. I just want to calculate that. Let's say he had 15 for the last 15 years that ordered, what the average person orders. I mean, he's clearing, 300 to 500 BV a month just in that activity for the last 15 years on top of his shopping annuity, which could be 200 to 500 or more. That's significant volume, all from an activity to get the product in the hands of someone who could benefit from it. It's not a hard thing. You just got to make sure you do it. That brings us to accountability. Jim Winkler and I had a long conversation. He's someone I respect greatly in the business. He's just an incredible trainer. And a lot of people don't know he's built a huge company, and his wife built this to, I want to say, national before they met. And so they kind of met in the business. And then he also is now corporate. I mean, it's like it's like a triple threat going on. But he always said this. He goes, I don't care what people do and who they decide to work with, but if this business is going to work, you better have a way for someone to help you stay accountable and for you to stay accountable so that we know what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, and where you need to improve. If you're not holding yourself accountable, what are you doing? So accountability, whether you're doing our accountability or you with Jim Winkler's 90-day, his thing on Meet On or Carl, it honestly doesn't matter. But what we've done as a team is just created a checklist. So you can start it this week. You can start it next week. But the only thing we ask is you download the sheets. There's 4 sheets, 4 weeks of production, and then a summary where you take all the sheets, staple them together, and you combine them to see where you ended up. Because you should have a result. The sheets are the activity, and the last sheet is the results that you get at the end of 4 weeks of doing this. And the reason 4 weeks is because it's enough time to actually get the results to happen. You can't go crazy for a week and expect to have this huge company. But if you build this consistently for a little bit of time every week over 4 weeks, the results come accidentally. You don't even know where that person came from or where the customer came from. You just did enough of the activity that created that person. Okay, so we need you to download the accountabilities. Don't worry about what to do every day. You just say, like, for instance, daily steps. I got to read my goals. Done. I got to listen to an audio. Check. I got to post on social media and just talk to people throughout my day. Done. Easy. I got to talk to 3 to 5 people a day. You can choose how many you talk to, but 3 is a good number. That should be the minimum. Hi, Heidi, how you doing? Oh my God, I haven't seen you in like 3 months. Just want to touch base. What are your plans for Thanksgiving? Hope you're all well. Talk to you soon. Like, that's what I mean. And then you're looking to add 2 names and possibly book an appointment. If there's enough, going on and you have enough relationships where you then go into appointment setting, which will help you with. But it's so easy to do, but you want to do this for yourself and make sure you're working with a mentor, someone who can go, what can I do to help? How are you doing? What can we do to improve this week? If you're doing this alone, this is the last point I'll make about accountability. If you're doing this alone, you're doing it wrong. It's a team effort. Elizabeth Weber needs someone to get on calls with her prospects because she needs someone to hear it from someone else. She makes $120,000 residually a month. And when she's building, she utilizes the GMTSS, events, tickets, other people's testimonials, other people's homes, because she understands that it's a team effort. She can't make it alone, but we can make it together.
And that's a great lead into C, which is coaching. And I just want to reiterate, like, there is a solution for every problem. And if you are sitting there feeling frustrated, because you're talking to a million people, but you're not able to book any appointments, then you need to reach out and ask for some coaching. If you're booking a ton of appointments, but you can't get people to show up, you need to ask for some coaching. If you're showing a bunch of plans, but you can't get anybody to launch, what am I going to say? You need to ask for some coaching. And it doesn't mean that anybody's going to think differently about you or that you're not ever going to make it in this business. What it means is we get to do our jobs as leaders in this business. This is what we can't wait to do, is to work with the next partner who waves their hand or, pings our phone and says, hey, I need your help. And I tell people on my team all the time, please don't think that you can't ever reach out. If you're stuck, don't wait. I want to know right away. I don't want to know that you're stuck after you've been, you've lost a week of building time to find out that you're stuck. Or I don't want to find out that your approach that isn't working hasn't worked on 50 people when I could find out when it didn't work after only 5 people. Because we can create an intervention there and get you we can, jazz things up a little bit and figure out, what to fine tune, because chances are 75% of what you're doing is spot on and it's just a little tweak here and there. And so you should be talking to your mentor, checking in daily. It doesn't mean you need to have a full out half-hour conversation. It means you should touch base. It's part of the accountability for yourself, but it's also an opportunity to bounce things off of your mentor. And so definitely take advantage of that. And if you are someone who feels that you need more trainings, then ask for it. I remember Heather Filibasian said to me in a training one time, she was a TLS trainer that I had early on in my business. And she said, Heidi, how do you get Ryan's attention? Ryan's a really busy guy. He's a supervising coordinator at that point. How do you get his attention? And I said, I text him. And she said, and if he doesn't answer after a couple of hours, what do? I say, I text him again and say, hey, did you get my text? And she laughed and she goes, and then what? And I said, well, sometimes I'll even try Facebook Messenger, right? And she said, and does Ryan get back to you? And I said, yeah, he eventually does. She said, the squeaky wheel gets the grease, right? That was the message she was trying to reinforce. And because leaders are very busy, right? There's hundreds of different partners that are looking for things. But
long fucking blonde hair. Yes, you were there.
We gotta mute that. But we will. You got it.
Yeah, but I gotta make sure. Hang on. All right, mute it. All right, you're good.
We have to. We will absolutely get back to you. And if we're hearing, this is also why it's really important that we know what's going on, because if it's, the third person this week that's talking about appointment booking frustrations, then we're going to book a full out coring for the whole team to fix the problem and then get everybody involved. And that's a great way of, leveraging our time, being able to train, 5 to 10 people on an issue, a common issue, versus doing individual appointments, right? And then you guys get a better experience because you get to hear from your partners going through the same thing, which is validating. But then we also creatively come up with way more solutions as a collective group. And so, I reached out to Gary. We've got a team coring coming up because we have some things that we're struggling with. So every leader is available and open to helping. That is what the foundation of this business is all about, is helping someone else. But you have to take responsibility for reaching out and getting your needs met, and then following through on that action plan that you create with your leader.
I'm so glad you said that. It's so important. And it's an area that I struggle with even personally. And I know you do, Heidi, and a lot Gary and, Elizabeth Weber. Oh my God. You run out of time, right? So we're out there helping a lot of people, but I hear kind of two sides of the story. It's like people want the best experienced people, but then it's like, well, yeah, I know, but they're too busy, or I reached out once and they didn't get back to me. Come on. Like, you got to get hungry. I remember Gary, he wouldn't respond. So guess what? I mean, Heidi's been nice, but I used to call him every 30 minutes until he got so annoyed that he was like, dude, I'm sorry. I was in a meeting. I'm like, yeah, but I just need your attention. So are you good now? You know what I mean? And if it wasn't him, I would have found someone else. I would have went to Weber. I would have went, you know what I mean? You got to find the help. You got to be hungry. You can't say, hey, I wrote an email 3 weeks ago. They never responded, so I didn't try to follow up with them. No. You wrote an email. How about 10 phone calls? How about get their attention? Because I've had the flip side where I've reached out to people that have been asking for help, and they're like, I'm like, hey, I'm free tonight, 9 o'clock. Well, I gotta, get the kids, and then I gotta, try to get to bed early before work. How about tomorrow? You know what I mean? It works the reverse. But people are busy with people who want the help, and if you're looking for the help, get the attention. Get the attention of the person, and if they won't give you the attention, find someone. It's your company. But I'm telling you that there's so much help available, right? And there's only so many hours a day we all have, but there's always someone who can help, but you got to be hungry. You got to go for it. No one's going to be, knocking on your door saying, hey, you're ready to go. But the help is there. And this leads to the last one to keep simple is kickoffs, okay? Heidi mentioned this. Gary talked about it all regional. Elizabeth Weber said it, is that if you don't have events booked, then there's nothing you're building, right? All the conversations, all the follow-ups, all the things we do is leading into building someone into an event. And if you don't have any events in your calendar, then you're not really open for business. And you can't play the game of, well, once I have someone interested, then I'm going to book the event. And I will tell you, you'll never find someone interested if you don't have the event booked. You got to put it in the right order. So if you have the events booked, and I'm saying next week, don't be the person who goes, okay, I'm going to need 4 weeks to organize. No, next Thursday, this time, I have this person showing up to do this event. I got to get appointments booked. And if you don't know how to book the appointments, well, guess what? That's your next follow-up to sit down and get people to the event with your mentor, okay? If you get people to show up, it always results in something positive. Like I said, one kickoff last year has not resulted in a partner. But by the way, that one did result in customers, but every other one did. Gary and I used to laugh every time we hit the road together. We had this joke. We said we're 100 for 100. Every single time we did an event together, it would lead to a new partnership or multiple partnerships or growth. And we used to just laugh like, why don't we do more of these? And we're like, I don't know. People, maybe they don't want to do them. But every time we do them, we get what they're looking for. So you got to do them. So I guess, to just simplify this, put it in your calendar. Who's going to do it? Get the person to agree to do it if you're not comfortable doing yourself. And if you are, or you're ready, do it. You know more than the people showing up to see this. And it doesn't matter what they say. You know more than they do. So you can conduct yourself that way. And if there's ever a situation where you don't know the answer, you know what you say? I don't know the answer, but I'll find it before you leave. Or I'll follow up with you tomorrow. That'll give you an excuse to follow up. Just do it. Book something next week and the week after. You have to have next week and the week after booked up. every time. You're always booking 2 weeks in advance. And that's how you really get this business hitting, momentum, where you're just automatically, without you open the calendar, your next 2 weeks are booked up. And when you get really good, your next month is. And that's what you need to do. We mentioned this, and I want to mention this again. Home business presentations, where people are coming to your home or to the home of your new business partner and having someone present. And the next best thing, if you can't do that, get people at that home and have one of us do a live webinar where you just plug into your TV, USB, get the audio set up, practice, do a couple trials to make sure it sounds good and it looks good. And how cool would that be? You have 5 guests in your living room and Heidi's, streaming in live. You see her face, you're seeing the plans, real Q&A happening. I mean, that's like VR. You know what I mean? That's totally hot shit going on. I'm floored by that stuff. I think it's the coolest stuff ever. There's no excuse, no matter how far you live. You could be in Alaska, you could be in London. There's no demographic or geographical boundaries that matter anymore. We can find a solution to this, but you got to get it booked. Okay. So we want to wrap this all up, right?
Yep.
All right. So this is about, that was a lot of stuff. We got takeaways, and here's what we need to do. We're going to follow hashtag stack for everything you do. Just simplify it. So Heidi put this list together, and this is what we're going to do. We're going to post this on Directors Group, and you guys are going to have access to this. This is your homework tonight. And if you're watching this on the recording, the second you're done, you're doing this now. Do not wait till tomorrow, the next day, because you'll miss it. And before you know it, it'll be the 1st of 2018. You want to download this now. So you want to cover a couple of these, Heidi, real quick?
Yep. So we've got stack. So we've got the S is for simple. Again, it's simple answers to these 4 things. What do you do? What is it? Why are you doing this business? And you make sure you have a goal statement. T is trial size marketing. So we've listed out the trial size packets that you can order. You want to get at least 1. And, don't forget, it's beyond the isotonics here. We've got the ultimate aloe and the digestive enzyme and the mocha tonics as well. Plus those pre-order the trim tea. We didn't talk about the trim tea, but the amount of information we got about the trim tea this weekend, you got to make sure you have that on hand. A, accountability. Download the accountability sheets. C is coaching. Reach out. There's a solution to every problem. K is for kickoff. So you want to have 2 HBPs on your calendar within the next 2 weeks, okay? And you don't need to give people a ton of notice. They're either going to make it or they're not. And if they can't make it to the first one, you get them plugged into the second one. And do not think about missing your next local event. So pull up the GMTSS in your back office, find the next local event in your area, make sure you have tickets. And Miami, guys, Miami is right around the corner. Okay, it's a matter of weeks. I bet you we have less than 10 weeks to Miami. And so you got to start making your arrangements, make sure you have a ticket because you are going to regret it if you're not there.
Yeah, you got to think about every reason we're doing what this is to assemble the people to get the training so that they can see what they need to see, experience what they need to experience, learn what they need to learn, so that independently they can become the leader. This is about empowering people to become who they're ultimately meant to become in this business and know how to do that. And there's no way to do it for you to train them one-on-one in a conference call. You think these events alone won't do it, but this will help the person get to the point where they can go to the event, get that information, and watch what happens. I mean, I can't tell you. Heidi was one that went to the event and everything changed. Karen, Derek, Gary Rogers, Elizabeth Weber was 9 MLMs, and someone brought her to international convention. I think at the time there was a couple hundred people in the audience, and it was in a small room at the Cord Convention Center, which is where we just do like parties now, like everything changes when that happens. So why would you try to think that there's a better way to do that? That's the secret on how to do it quick. If you're worried or wondering what it is, you got to get people to the event. The local seminars help sell that event. If you can't get someone convinced to go, the local seminar will. So your number one thing is I got to get them there. If you're stable and waiting, there's no way to be stable and waiting and to finally have that moment for things to explode unless you still stay plugged in. It's the thing that everyone should do. Attend the next that's your answer. What is the next local event? I'll be there. because eventually you'll attend one, and if it doesn't happen at that, you attend the next one. You don't have your breakthrough at that, your third one, and then poof. You don't know what can happen by continuously staying plugged in, because you're going to hear it a different way by a million people or learn something they never learned before, and it's finally going to make sense. And the teams thrive, individuals thrive when they have a chance to attend the major events. So everything we do is to get another person in the seat with you come Miami. If you book now, it's cheaper. If you wait till the week before, it's more expensive. So I would tell you, buy presents over the holidays for each other and support each other in the business. And you know what I mean? Like, make sure you do whatever you have to do to get these tickets booked quick, so that it's more affordable to the masses and help everyone get there. So I just want to end again. This is what you do. You go to Directors Group. We'll post it right at the end of this. You download this. You do this tonight. I want you to check it off. Hold yourself accountable. Take a picture, post it on Directors Group, and say, I did it. It's done. Look at it. Boom. I'm ready to go. Get your accountability sheets, and we're just gonna go quick from here to January 1st. It's gonna be a blur, trust me, but it's gonna be the best thing you could do to set yourself up not only for a strong end of the year, but to have an explosion at January in 2018 and make it your year that you hit professional supervising national director or above. You know what I mean? I mean, that's what it's all about. So Heidi, you rock. Everyone else, it's been an incredible weekend. For those who are too far to make it, we wish you could have been there, and I hope this is a good recap. And this takes us all together as one team, one dream. And I want to make sure you understand this for our team. Every Monday night at 8 o'clock from here till January 1st, and then we'll touch base with where we go after that, is 8 o'clock Monday night. Carve it in your schedule, 8 to 9. That's my training. It's consistent, it's reliable, and you're going to have training like this, and we're just going to give you new techniques, new people, new speakers, new success stories, so that you can constantly stay plugged in on a digital basis, in addition to everything else you're out there doing. So just make sure you plug into that so you can stay consistent in what you do. And Heidi, you want to end with anything?
You said it all. We're good. Let's just get to building. We got a big week, guys. Huge week.
Huge week. All right. Thank you guys so much. Let's make it happen. Get the list done. I'll be posting it right as soon as we're done. Thank you so much. Take care. Make it happen. Let's go.